Much that I want the Eternals to die, as I want them not to be around anymore. Eternals writers want that prequel series on Disney Plus. Eternals writers Ryan and Kaz Fupa want to make a prequel series on Disney Plus. This came out today by John Fugu. It doesn't matter. ETAP right back here with you. Let's cover this article from MovieWeb. If you remember yesterday, this came out over on the Hollywood Reporter. Eternals writers wish for a Disney Plus prequel. This is expanded upon over here. Plus, that article had the interview in it, and I'm not going through that whole thing. I scrolled through it, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not reading through this. Let's take a look at this article here, though. So we see the boring cast. These two, Richard Madden and Gemma Chan, zero chemistry. There's Fastos over there, Gay Black Tony Stark, Ajak, Selma Hayek. Let's cover up all the good stuff. Here's Skeletor, featured out front prominently. Korean Gilgamesh, fucking Justin Bieber over here. Melted Ezra Miller, not funny Pakistani guy playing an Indian, and Lauren Redloff, who is Makari. For some reason, the Eternals decided to create a physically handicapped Eternal, which they're not even human. It makes no sense. Hey, I got an idea. She needs to be really sensitive to vibrations. Okay, we can do that. Let's make her fucking deaf. Wait, what? Why? Well, the original character is a white guy. All right, Jack Kirby made it that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to make her black and deaf. That way we check two boxes. And Kevin Feige's like over there just going like, Kevin Feige proceeded to go Jeffrey Toobin and just stroke himself during that call when they were pitching that to him. Marvel's newest movie, The Eternals, packs a whole lot into its 156-minute runtime. But despite being one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's longest installments so far, it was not enough for writers Ryan and Kaz Furpo, are they married or are they siblings? I don't know. Who want to explore the past adventures of the titular team in a Disney Plus series as revealed in their first outing. The Eternals, I guarantee you that's not the first time those two have come out, have been on Earth for thousands of years. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And the scribes feel there's plenty of interesting material to mine in serial form. Oh, God.
We ain't found shit.
Go back and do a Kingo episode in the 1890s Mumbai, where he's juggling his life as a movie star, dealing with Gandhi's peaceful dissolution of the British Empire in India. And there's an episode with Thena where she's in the show in Greece. I would love to make that show. There are a couple of opportunities. If the audiences allow us, there's going to be a story to tell with Dane Whitman. There's going to be a story to tell in the Cosmos with the Eternals confronting Erisham and the Celestials, who are these incredible metaphors for creation. I think there's a lot of stories in the Eternals universe. Well, there is a lot of stories in the Eternals universe. Unfortunately, you two idiot half-wit fucks have proved that you're not capable of telling them properly. Okay? Now, I understand. This was, these two idiots wrote this. She cost this film a Chinese release, and it's like banned in 4 other countries in the Middle East who are not as enlightened as we are. Now, the problem with that being, this is going to cost us in the global box office, which I couldn't be happier about. I love to see the MCU stands re, and you're like, but ETAP, don't you like the MCU? I do. I enjoy the good parts of the MCU, not the parts with, Wokey and, WandaVision, which went to shit. What if the show was actually good? Black Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
You've got to do better.
What other shit have they released? Is that it? Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing something.
2 hours later.
Yeah, because everybody's clamoring for more Kumail Nanjiani as a Pakistani playing an Indian, because that's not miscasting at all. We want to check all these boxes. You can't. This is the thing that gets this hypocrisy right here. So they fired Mike Henry from playing Cleveland on Family Guy because he's a white guy. All right? They fired him. Now, this is nothing against the gentleman off YouTube that replaced him, which I don't care what you say. I do the voice better than he does. I don't give a shit. But I can't play it because I'm white. Really, though, you're gonna boil this down to you have to look exactly like and be exactly like the character you're portraying. Or why is there a Pakistani playing an Indian then? How is that even fair? Right? You couldn't find an Indian actor? He has to be Bollywood, but he's Pakistani, because those two countries just get along so well. Until now, the idea of an Eternals prequel is something that Ryan and Kaz Fupa have only joked about. But thanks to the ongoing success of Marvel on the small screen, is it though?
Yes, every single thing I say offends them.
The project has become a much more serious prospect for them. It's an exciting time to be a storyteller, Ryan Firpo said. With Disney Plus, with movies, there's so many opportunities to tell these stories in so many different formats. It's a really exciting time just to explore new frontiers in narrative. There's the key word right there, narrative. Their narrative is, let's make everything as woke as possible. And I'm not saying it was woke because of the incessant need for people to see characters that look exactly like them. You don't, and I've said this before ad nauseum, if you want and need to see characters that look exactly like you, to be able to identify with them, you got to blame the thing up here. You have no imagination. Like I said, I've said this before, and I use this example. Where did it go? Right here. Blade 1 and 2. I love these movies. 3 is fun. I never bought 3. I love Blade 1 and 2. I love the character of Blade. I didn't really, before the movie came out, I didn't know it was a comic book. I didn't. Because, like I said, the comics I did read were mostly like Spider-Man kind of stuff like that. I never got into like the more subtle characters, the nuanced characters, the ones that weren't as mainstream. Like maybe to, regular comic readers they were, but to, a normie, not so much. So I got to see Blade on screen. I was like, God damn, this character's awesome. I was like 18 when the movie came out, 19 around there. I was like, this is badass. Like, and you're sitting there and you're like, man, I could see myself doing like being a vampire hunter and shit. Never once was I like, okay, I love this character. I cannot picture myself as Blade though because he's black. Can we make Blade white and then I can see myself as a vampire hunter who's a vampire who can walk in the daylight? No, because I wasn't a fucking retard and stunted mentally. This is the problem with people. Everybody thinks they need to get exactly what they want these days. And it's an affront to the creatives, greater people than yourself. And that's the kind of people that are getting into this format now, this genre now, is half-wit idiots who don't care about the source material and don't care about the lore. I might not know all the source material, but I care about it and I respect it because that's what laid the groundwork to get where we are today. It needs a modern reimagining and a modern retelling. No, the fuck it doesn't. Back the truck up. Beep, beep. Like I said, mentally stunted idiots think like that. This is such a funny way to. Directed by Academy Award winner Chloe Zhao, who wrote the screenplay with Patrick Burley, Ryan Firpo, and Kaz Firpo. Eternals stars a star-studded ensemble cast, including Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, who are pretty people and have no chemistry together whatsoever. Nothing shines through in this movie. There's nothing that stands out about him. And I liked Richard Madden as Robb Stark on Game of Thrones. Kumail Nanjiani, who is about as funny as anal warts. Leah McHugh, who I really have nothing bad to say about. The character of Sprite was kind of just like a whiny afterthought. Brian Tyree Henry, who for the first time I realized was in this movie. I didn't realize he was in this as many times I've seen it. Maybe it's because I couldn't identify with him because he didn't look like me.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Lauren Ridloff, absolutely beautiful, talented, but the character of Makari is stupid. This iteration. I don't know. I'll have to look up, see if Makari was deaf in the comics. Like I said, I didn't know shit about the Eternals until they announced this movie. I never heard of them. Who the fuck are the Eternals? Jack Kirby's creation. I'm like, oh, okay, so Jack Kirby's creation, and I'm looking up the characters when I did that last video, and I had all the cinematic characters, all the comic characters. I'm like, Barry Keoghan, who looks like melted Ezra Miller. Don Lee, who I believe was Gilgamesh. Harish Patel was Kumail Nanjiani's like manservant. Jon Snow, Kit Harington as Dane Whitman, who I want to see more of that character, but outside of this shit show. Selma Hayek, who is completely misused. Angelina Jolie, who doesn't belong in these movies. The movie introduces a host of new heroes and villains to the MCU. It doesn't introduce any villains. It reintroduces the Celestials that we've, not met on this scope, but, we were introduced to in Guardians of the Galaxy with Ego, the Living Planet, which this kind of contradicts all of that and all of Thanos' plan. Makes no sense whatsoever. This centers on the Eternals, a race of immortal beings with superhuman powers who have secretly lived on Earth for thousands of years, returning to battle the evil deviants. The deviants are boring. The deviants are it's like superheroes just fighting orcs. learns how to heal itself because it kills and takes Ajax's power and who else's power? Korean Gilgamesh, I think it took his powers. Ajax, I don't know. Like I said, I don't. This movie was so trash. It was so trash. Eternals has been by far the most divisive MCU movie in the decade-spanning franchise so far, ending the studio's untouched run of fresh movies on Rotten Tomatoes with a rotten rating of 46%. This reaction, which has no doubt come as a surprise to Marvel, could lead the Eternals not receiving a sequel. That would be amazing if it didn't receive a sequel. I would love that, because that sends a message to Kevin the Cuck Feige and the retards at Marvel that we don't want this shit. We're not racist, sexist, bigot, incel, homophobe, neckbeard, man babies, Trump supporters. We just don't like your modern injections of garbage tier politics, race bending, gender bending trash into already good pre-established mythos that people loved for decades and decades. It needs a reimagining because people are too stupid to see themselves on screen. It all goes back to Iceman. They made Iceman gay for no reason. No reason. Oh, he was a ladies' man. Make him gay. This is ridiculous. This culture war we're fighting is going to affect more than what you think. Oh, it's just comic book movies. No. This affects kids. Kids watch these. Kids see this. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the LGB community. And after that, you're out. The LGBs, okay. Everyone else, we just draw that line right there. Like I said, I don't have a problem with anybody loving whoever they want. You love who you love. As long as you're all over the age of 18, everybody's consenting. I'm Peter Paul. That's between y'all. I don't care. I wash my hands of it. You know? I don't care. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when you try to push bullshit on kids where it doesn't belong. You know, and the thing with Fastos in this was not offensive at all to me. Obviously, because I don't care. I was like, loving husband, father, doesn't want to see anything happen, any harm befall his husband or his son. I can identify with that. As a parent, as a man, as a husband, you know, as a father, I can identify with that. I had no issue with that. None. I had more issue with Richard Madden and Gemma Chan looking like two pieces of wood. Oh, I love you. I've been in love with you for 7,000 years. No, you haven't. There's no chemistry there. You took two very aesthetically appealing people and were like, they're pretty people. We can put them together. And no, it's not. And this is like barely, this is like a metaphor for Chloe Zhao and her husband. She's married to a white guy and she's Asian. Did you have to self-insert? Really? Did you have to self-insert? That's what she said. But really, it's comical. It is comical to see this. It's just like, I am not Starfire or whatever that, the short, fat, pumpkin pie, Dumb and Dumber haircutted, dumpy looking chick wrote that comic book about, you know, put herself in that comic book. Starfire is so pretty and perfect, but I'm just a fat, dumpy bitch who looks like Mrs. Swan on Mad TV. So I'm going to write myself into a book and make Starfire look badsies? No. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, we don't give a shit. We don't want no goddamn Eternals fucking show on Disney Plus. Fuck me. Nobody needs it. We need this show about as much as we need a Miss Marvel show, because that's not steeped in identity politics. Oh my God, her whole identity is she's a Muslim Pakistani girl, and then she has some powers, but she's Muslim and Pakistani. Diverse. Right here we are, Rotten Tomatoes, our update on Eternals. 46% tomato score, 80% audience score. I was shocked. More shocked I could not be that the audience score actually dropped to 80%. It was sitting at 86, and that's funny because The Rise of Skywalker, with over, 100,000 reviews, has still stayed at 86. Disney's like, nope, not letting that drop. I hate the critics. They're shills, but it's funny to see the shills. Like I said, there are crabs in a bucket. All these critics from all these different online periodicals are crabs in a bucket. And you know what the crabs in a bucket metaphor is. All the crabs are trying to climb out of the bucket at the same time, but they keep pulling each other down as soon as one of them gets a little bit higher than the rest of them. That's what all these idiots do. I mean, a slack film in the way one gets to be when one has no pressing need to come in at a reasonable running time. On the whole, the film succeeds in becoming the series' most emotional outing. No, it doesn't. Eternals creates the illusion of maturity that would have elevated it to director Chloe Zhao's standards. None of these characters come across as compelling. Yes, these beings are supposed to be immortal, but you'll feel as your time with the Eternals has lasted for an eternity. He spelled your wrong. It's not you are time, it's your. Y-O-U-R, dumbass. Mad About Movies podcast. Kent Garrison. Chloe Zhao deals with real-world themesies that resonate now and will only resonate more as the MCU continues to evolve. Eternals is not a good movie. It's not a good comic book movie. It's not a good action movie. It's not a good Marvel movie. It somehow feels overstuffed and empty at the same time. It's muddled and convoluted. It's bland and boring and a bewildering mess. That's true. Oh, this is great. Eternals is a mess. A beautiful mess, but a mess nonetheless. Okay, Dr. Seuss. There's far more interesting movies under all that flotsam. In better hands, the movie could have been something special. All that was provided is a dull, bland film. He's right, but the guy's still just ridiculous. I came out disappointed having witnessed an imbalanced, slightly messy, uninspiring, and sadly boring slog. For all its flaws, it's far from the worst entry into the MCU, but it is perhaps the first of Marvel's films to be less than the sum of its parts. No, this is the second worst film in the MCU next to Captain Marvel. In many ways, what it means to be human is the dizzying central Of course, Karen Peterson would like it. She has a Karen haircut. She has blue hair and is from AWFJ, Women on Filmsies. An exciting peek into the future of the franchise with grander ideas and new types of storytelling. Ugh. Marvel is the peanut butter of movies. Zhao is the filet mignon of directors, and I wasn't fully enjoying my peanut butter steak.
He was a retard.
If Chloe Zhao is the filet mignon of directors, I'm done watching movies. The mental gymnastics that Aaron Dicer used to give this film a rotten rating and still somehow want to blow Chloe Zhao is fucking hilarious. The MCU's first DCEU film. Eternals is a flawed experiment years ahead of its industry, but sooner or later, a film has to break the mold and prove superheroes are worthy of deeper, richer cinema. No.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it.
Fuck that puto!
We went through Rotten Tomatoes. We looked at this article. We've examined this thing pretty much every which way we can. The Eternals is just a bad movie. We don't need a sequel. We don't need I definitely don't need a prequel. That's akin to saying, hey, kids, do you want a prequel for The Last Jedi? And everybody's like, we don't need a prequel for this shit show. That's not something that anybody has on their MCU wish list. And if they do, they're either a sycophant or one of these weirdo MCU stans that just completely pees themselves and just gushes over everything that Marvel does. And it's like, oh my God, Z's, get excited for next products. Yay! Even if it's shit, they're still like, yes, please, sir. I'd like some more. So that's it, guys. I'm done with the Eternals. I know I've said that before, yet here we are, right? As long as it's in the news, I'll cover it for you guys. We got some more videos. We got Batwoman coming out tomorrow. Got some more pop culture news videos. Going rogue tonight, 8:35 Eastern. You know it. Join me and Tony ToneDef as we go through holy shit news, buy or sell, and things so obvious Helen Keller could have seen them coming. And all the pop culture goodness that you look to us for in this ongoing culture war for our minds, hearts, and souls. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Temple Queen of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, hey, if you enjoy anything here, hit that subscribe button. Let us know that you love us. Hit that subscribe button. Also, don't be afraid to ding the bell for notifications, slap the like button, and always leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you think, because we want to hear it. Remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away or be one of the Eternals. Ugh.